The universe was full of voices, but Earth heard nothing. 4 years, humanity scanned the sky and collected thousands of alien signals. Some were bright and loud. Some were soft whispers. Some carried strange patterns that no one understood. Scientists celebrated at first. They believed this was the greatest discovery in human history. But something felt wrong. All those signals, and not a single one answered Earth back. The rest of the galaxy spoke to each other freely, like neighbors in a crowded city. Yet whenever Earth sent greetings, warm messages, peaceful invitations, offers to share knowledge, no one replied. Not even a simple hello. It was as if humanity did not exist. A young communication officer named Aiden Cross sat in the listening chamber of the Deep Space Observatory. The chamber was a circular room filled with glowing screens and long-range receivers. Every night, Aiden listened to the endless noise of the stars. He loved the job at first. It felt like being the first human standing at the edge of a cosmic sea. But over time, that sea became unsettling. Tonight, the chamber felt colder than usual. The lights flickered. The machines made a faint humming sound. Aiden stared at a screen showing a long row of alien signals. They were bright, complex, filled with movement. But none reacted to Earth's attempts. It was like watching a party from the outside. Everyone laughing together. Everyone talking. Everyone connected. Everyone. Except humanity. Aiden leaned closer to the receiver. Something faint was hidden under the noise. Something he had never heard before. It was almost like a whisper. He increased the volume. The whisper grew clearer. Aiden froze. It sounded like a voice. Slow. Careful. Almost scared. Stay quiet. Aiden's heart pounded. He adjusted the filters, cleared the static, and played the message again. Stay quiet. They are watching. A shiver ran through him. Who was watching? And why warn Earth? He reported it to his supervisors. Within minutes, a group of officials rushed into the chamber. They listened to the whisper again and again. No one spoke. No one blinked. Finally, the lead official, Director Rowan, turned off the speaker. This does not leave this room, he said, voice firm. Not a single word. Aiden felt confused. Shouldn't we investigate? Shouldn't we warn everyone? Humanity is not ready for panic, Rowan replied. The officials left quickly, leaving Aiden alone in a half-dark room, the whisper echoing in his mind. Stay quiet. They are watching. He did not sleep that night. The next morning, global leaders held a private meeting. Only a few people knew the truth. The galaxy was not ignoring Earth by accident. Some group, some power, wanted Earth silent and small, and humanity had no idea why. Earth's governments decided to act in secret. They created a hidden project known only to top officials. Project Iron Colossus. Its goal was simple. Build gigantic warships in the darkest corners of the solar system. Prepare for a threat no one understood. Defend humanity from a danger that refused to show its face. Massive bases were established underground on Mercury, inside deep lunar craters, and in abandoned mining zones across the asteroid belt. The public believed these were energy experiments or scientific stations. Only a handful of people knew the truth. These were the first construction sites for world-shaking warships. Warships large enough to stand against whole alien fleets. Warships that could fight back. Warships humanity hoped they would never need. Weeks passed. Aiden returned to work, but the whisper stayed in his mind like a shadow. He reviewed thousands of signals, searching for any hint of danger. Then something strange happened. Aiden noticed a repeating pattern inside one of the faint alien signals. It wasn't a voice this time. It was numbers, perfectly timed, repeating every 12 minutes. He ran calculations. His eyes widened. The sequence was a countdown. But a countdown to what? Aiden checked the data. The numbers aligned with the orbit of an unknown object entering the solar system. No ships were scheduled. No probes. Nothing from Earth. And yet, the object was coming straight toward them. He sent an urgent message to Director Rowan. Alarms sounded inside the observatory. Teams rushed to their stations. Telescopes pointed toward the edge of the solar system. Then the object appeared on the screens. Aiden expected a strange alien craft. Something metallic. Something bright. Something unknown. But when the image sharpened, everyone in the chamber went silent. It was not alien. It was not a design from any known species. It was not even something from the present. It was a human-made probe. Old. Damaged. But unmistakably human. A probe from the future, almost 900 years ahead. Aiden stared at the screen, breath frozen. For the first time, Earth had not been ignored. Humanity had warned itself. And the countdown was almost at 0. The mysterious probe drifted silently toward Earth, its metal surface cracked, its signals weak, as if it had traveled through something violent, something that almost destroyed it. Aiden Cross stood inside the Deep Space Observatory as the probe came closer. The room was silent except for the soft hum of machines tracking its path. Everyone expected danger. Everyone expected a hidden weapon. But what they saw made the entire chamber freeze. The probe had Earth's old flag painted on its side. The color was faded, almost erased by time, but the symbol was still there, a reminder that this was built by human hands, far in the future. Director Rowan whispered, "This should not exist." The probe slowed as if guided by invisible hands. It took position between Earth and the Sun, perfectly steady, perfectly controlled. Then its surface opened, releasing a small black box that floated forward gently. Aiden felt his chest tighten. "What is inside that thing?" No one answered. 2 robotic arms reached out from a drone and pulled the box into a sealed chamber. Scientists in protective suits rushed in. A few minutes later, Rowan returned, face pale. "There is a message inside," he said. "A message from the future." The words made every heart in the room beat faster. The message was brought into the main chamber. It was a silver crystal sphere, glowing faint blue. When Rowan touched it, the sphere opened and projected a hologram into the air. A figure appeared, tall, wearing a dark uniform, with the Earth emblem on the shoulder. His voice was calm but filled with warning. "To whoever receives this, listen carefully. The galaxy is not your friend. The Galactic Council will come for you. They fear your growth. They fear your mind. They fear your future." Aiden felt chills run down his back. The hologram continued. "In every timeline where humanity trusted the Council, Earth burned. Billions died. Humanity became dust. A sudden flash of images filled the air. Earth destroyed, cities collapsing, massive alien fleets hovering over the ruins. The chamber filled with gasps. Then the hologram changed. It showed something bigger than any ship Aiden had ever seen. A warship the size of a floating continent. Its metal surface shined like dark steel. Its engines glowed with blue light. "Only in one future did we survive," the figure said. "In that future, we built the Titans." The hologram ended. The sphere dimmed. Silence claimed the room. Rowan turned slowly to the officers. "The Council is not ignoring us. They are controlling us. They want humanity weak," Aiden whispered. "And the Titans, they want us to build them." Later that week, Earth's governments expanded Project Iron Colossus. What began as a small secret plan now turned into the largest hidden construction effort in human history. Engineers built underground hangars beneath Mercury's surface. Massive ship frames were assembled inside hollowed-out asteroids near Jupiter. And on the dark side of the moon, thousands of workers carved giant tunnels to store engines and weapons. Everything was done in silence. Everything was done in shadows. The public still believed these places were simple mining or research stations. Only a handful of people knew the truth. The Titans would rise here. But the deeper the project went, the stranger things became. Workers started disappearing in the Mercury tunnels. One miner vanished after walking alone down a corridor that suddenly lost power. Security footage showed a shadow move behind him. Then nothing. In the lunar facility, machines that were perfectly fine began shutting down at the same hour every night. Tools fell from racks without anyone touching them. Footsteps echoed in empty halls. Aiden was sent to the moon to investigate the strange signals appearing near the tunnels. When he arrived, he felt something heavy in the air, like the whole place was holding its breath. The chief engineer, Dr. Mara Lynn, met him at the entrance. "You picked a bad time to visit," she said, her voice tense. "What's happening here?" Aiden asked. Mara sighed. It's like the facility has a mind of its own. Power failures. Strange noises. Workers reporting shadows moving behind them. And every time we repair something, something else breaks. Aiden followed her inside. The tunnels were massive, glowing with dim blue lights. Giant frames of the first Titan ship hung from the ceiling like the skeleton of a sleeping monster. He connected his receiver to the communication lines and listened. Static. Static. Then something soft. Something almost like breathing. Aiden froze. There it was, slow, heavy, and uneven. He stepped back. Someone is tapping into our channels. Mara looked confused. Who? Before Aiden could answer, the lights flickered violently. The floor shook. A deep metallic groan echoed through the tunnel, like something enormous was sliding across the metal surface. Workers screamed in the distance. A warning alarm blared. Unknown presence detected near Sector 9. Aiden and Mara rushed toward the sound. When they reached Sector 9, they found a huge section of the Titan's metal frame glowing faint red, as if heated from the inside. Is it alive? One worker whispered. The glow faded slowly, leaving the metal untouched. Aiden stared at it, cold sweat on his neck. The future message warned them about the Council. But it never warned them about this. Something inside the solar system was already watching. Already interfering. Already trying to stop the Titans. And whatever it was getting closer. The alarm from Sector 9 echoed through the lunar tunnels for almost an hour, but nothing else happened after the strange glow faded. No creature appeared. No intruder was found. The metal frame of the Titan looked normal, cold, silent, dead. But Aiden Cross could not forget the sound he heard. That heavy, uneven breathing. Like something close, but not human. The Council was a threat, yes. But something else was moving in the shadows of the solar system. Aiden returned to Earth with the recordings. Director Rowan and the Science Council met with him in a sealed underground chamber. The room was dark, with only a table and a single screen glowing in the center. Rowan gestured. Show us. Aiden played the audio. The breathing filled the speakers. Slow, deep, unsettling. Several officials shifted uncomfortably. A senior scientist frowned. No known human machine makes this sound. Another added, no alien species we know uses breathing masks or oxygen like this. Rowan leaned closer. Then what is it? Before Aiden could answer, a technician rushed into the chamber. Director. The future probe, it's activating again. Everyone hurried to the observatory. The crystal sphere from the probe floated above a pedestal, glowing brighter than before. Lines of light danced inside it, forming new symbols. It's preparing another message, the technician said. The room grew silent as a new hologram flickered to life. This time, the figure from the future looked older, more desperate. His uniform was damaged, his face tired, as if he had seen too many battles. He spoke slowly. If you are seeing this, it means the Council already knows about your construction. They will send scouts soon. They will test you. They will look for weakness. Aiden swallowed hard. The breathing from the tunnels replayed in his mind. Was that a scout? The hologram continued. You must understand something important. The Council is not the only danger. Something older lives in the dark between the stars. Something that even they fear. Everyone in the room stiffened. Even Aiden felt his skin go cold. The hologram showed a giant shadow moving across a starfield. It had no clear shape, only long claws of darkness stretching in all directions. In many futures, the man said, this thing wakes first. It spreads through galaxies like a silent storm. It consumes light. It consumes worlds. And when it reaches Earth, he paused. The image changed to a devastated Earth, shrouded in darkness. There is nothing left. Aiden felt a tightness in his chest. This was worse than any alien fleet. Worse than any Council attack. Something ancient, something that should not exist, was out there. The hologram shifted again. Now it displayed 3 massive warships, Titans, standing tall in space like metal gods. The Titans are your first shield, the man said. But they must be built in secrecy. If the Council destroys even one of them before completion, many timelines end in failure. Rowan's jaw tensed. We already lost part of the first frame. The hologram kept speaking. You will face sabotage. You will face traitors. You will face fear. But you must continue. The Titans are not only ships, they are humanity's future. The projection dimmed for a moment, then the voice returned, softer this time. And to the one listening closely, the one hearing whispers in the static, Aiden froze. The message was talking directly to him. You are the listener. Every timeline has one. Someone who hears signals others ignore. Someone who finds the danger before anyone else. Aiden's palms went cold. He felt dozens of eyes turn toward him. The hologram leaned forward. Trust your instincts, listener. The shadows you fear are real. The breathing you heard is real. And the countdown, Aiden's heartbeat thundered in his ears, is almost finished. The hologram shattered into sharp beams of light and vanished. The chamber erupted with nervous voices. Scientists debated. Officers argued. Some wanted to stop the Titan project immediately. Others wanted to accelerate construction. But Rowan lifted his hand. Enough, he said firmly. The room fell quiet. He turned to Aiden. You heard the breathing. You discovered the countdown. The message spoke directly to you. Aiden nodded slowly. Something is coming. And we don't have time, Rowan added. New orders were issued instantly. All Titan construction would move to non-stop operation. Security teams would double. No worker could enter the tunnels alone. Aiden would lead a new unit called Signal Guard, trained to detect strange transmissions and unknown intruders. Within days, the entire solar system felt different. Faster. Busier. Darker. On Mercury, giant engines were lifted into place, glowing like newborn stars. On the Moon, the Titan frame grew, longer, thicker, stronger. In Jupiter's shadow, hidden factories cut metal so massive it looked like mountains drifting in space. But the shadows grew too. Every night, Aiden heard new sounds, scratches, whispers, faint pulses of static. And every time he traced them, they pointed toward the outer solar system, toward the dark, toward the unknown. One night, while scanning a quiet band of frequencies, Aiden suddenly stopped breathing. A new whisper had appeared. But this time, it did not say, stay quiet. It said something worse. It has awakened. The whisper, it has awakened, stayed in Aiden's mind like a shadow that refused to leave. He replayed the audio again and again, but the voice remained the same, soft, distant, and filled with something cold. Something hungry. Director Rowan ordered all stations to prepare for a possible intrusion. But no one knew where the danger would come from. The Council? The strange creature from the future message? Something even worse? The solar system had never felt bigger or darker. Near Jupiter, hidden inside a dense asteroid field, humanity built its greatest secret, the Titan Forge. From the outside, the place looked like nothing, a cluster of rocks drifting silently in space. But inside those asteroids were enormous caverns lit by glowing engines and massive cranes. Here, the Titans were born. The moment the whisper appeared, Project Iron Colossus became something far greater. Engineers worked day and night. Every hour new supplies arrived. Steel, plasma coils, reactor cores, everything needed to create the first true Titan warship. The plan was simple. Build something the Council had never seen. Something too big, too strong, too unexpected. Something that could protect Earth when all else failed. Aiden flew to the forge with a small escort team. When he stepped inside the largest cavern, he felt his breath catch in his throat. The skeleton of the first Titan stood before him, towering, endless, stretching from one end of the cavern to the other. Its frame was longer than a city. Its wings were shaped like blades. Its engine core was larger than a stadium. It looked like a sleeping giant waiting for someone to wake it. Dr. Mara Lin was there too, now leading construction at the forge. She walked beside Aiden, her voice quieter than usual. This is Leviathan, she said, touching the giant frame. Humanity's first Titan. Aiden stared at the massive structure. Do you think it will be enough? Mara didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked up at the endless metal above them. "I think we have no choice," she finally said. The forge was supposed to be the safest place in the solar system. Hidden, silent, protected by thick asteroid walls. But trouble came anyway. It started small. A crane shut down by itself. A power line melted in seconds without overheating. A worker swore he heard someone breathing behind him, even though he was alone. Then came something worse. One night, a construction drone malfunctioned and charged straight into one of the Titan's support beams. It rammed again and again, metal screeching loudly. By the time workers shut it down, the beam had cracked. If it had fallen, dozens would have died. Rowan sent Aiden a message. "This is no accident. Stay alert." The next day, Aiden heard something strange through his headset. A soft clicking sound, like claws tapping metal. He followed the sound deeper into the forge. The lights dimmed the closer he got. Then he saw it. A thin line of fresh scratch marks along the wall. Not from a machine. Not from a tool. Something alive. Aiden stepped back. His heart raced. "Something is in here," he whispered. As he stared at the scratches, a sudden vibration shook the entire cavern. Engineers screamed as machines malfunctioned at once. Sparks flew. Cables whipped like snakes. The Titan's frame groaned under the chaos. An alarm blared across the forge. Critical instability in reactor chamber 2. If the chamber blew, the entire forge would be destroyed. Aiden sprinted with Mara toward the reactor room. Smoke filled the hallways. Sparks flew from the walls. When they reached the chamber, they found the reactor core glowing dangerously bright. An engineer yelled, "The stabilizer rods were removed." Someone, or something, had pulled them out. The core hummed louder, preparing to overload. Aiden didn't think. He grabbed the stabilizer rods scattered on the ground and ran toward the core. The heat felt like fire against his skin. His hands shook, but he forced the rods back into their slots. 1, 2, 3. The humming slowed. The glow faded. The reactor stabilized. Aiden collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. Mara put a hand on his shoulder. "You just saved the forge." But Aiden wasn't proud. He was terrified. Because next to the rods, he had seen something the others didn't. A long, black mark burned into the floor, shaped like a claw. Hours later, the chaos died down. Workers repaired the damage. But fear lingered in every corner of the forge. Rowan held a communication briefing with High Command. Aiden stood at the edge of the room, exhausted but alert. Suddenly, a new transmission appeared on the main screen. A symbol glowed in the darkness. A circular crest made of 7 stars. Everyone in the chamber froze. It was the mark of the Galactic Council. For the first time in history, they were contacting humanity. The message began with a calm, echoing voice. "Humans, we see your activities. We detect your hidden constructions. You build weapons that do not belong to your kind." Rowan stepped forward. "We build to defend ourselves." The council's voice grew colder. "You were advised to remain simple, peaceful, small. Your attempt to rise threatens balance." Aiden clenched his fists. "So they were ignoring us on purpose." The voice continued. "Stop your construction. Cease all Titan projects. Fail to obey, and consequences will follow." The transmission ended. No one spoke. No one moved. Then Rowan turned to the team, eyes hard and determined. "We continue," he said. "No matter what they say." Aiden felt a chill. Because something worse than the council was already here. Something that had scratched the walls of the forge. Something that breathed in the dark. Something awakened. And it wasn't going to wait. The threat from the Galactic Council spread across the secret bases like a cold wind. Engineers whispered in fear. Soldiers checked their weapons twice. Even the bravest workers looked over their shoulders, afraid that the Council scouts were already watching them. But Director Rowan refused to stop the Titan project. He gathered the chief leaders inside a secure underground room on the moon. Aiden Cross stood near the back, still shaken from the strange sabotage inside the forge. The memory of the claw marks on the floor stayed sharp in his mind. Rowan spoke firmly, The Council believes we should remain weak. If we obey them, we die. If we stop building the Titans, we die. If we continue, at least we have a chance." His words brought silence. Heavy silence, but also determination. The leaders agreed. Construction would continue. The Titans would rise. 3 days later, while Aiden monitored long-range frequencies, a sudden spike appeared. It wasn't static. It wasn't breathing. It wasn't the strange clicks he heard before. It was something sharp. Something deliberate. Aiden narrowed his eyes, adjusting the signal filter. The signal repeated, 3 short pulses, then 1 long. Mara Lynn's voice came through the comms. "We're picking up the same pattern here in the forge. It's approaching fast." Aiden's heart dropped. "That's not a message," he whispered. "That's a locator signal." Something was homing in on their position. Before he could warn Rowan, the entire observatory shook violently. Lights flickered. Screens turned red with a flashing alert. Unidentified vessel entering the solar system. Aiden sprinted to the main window. Stars blurred as telescopes zoomed in on the intruder. Then the image sharpened. Everyone froze. A long, black alien ship slipped out of the darkness of space like a hunting shark. Its surface rippled with strange purple lights. No engines were visible, yet it moved effortlessly, silently. Mara's voice trembled through the speaker. "That's a Council scout." The Council had arrived, and they weren't hiding anymore. The scout ship headed straight toward Jupiter, toward the Titan Forge. Rowan shouted, "Evacuate non-essential workers. Send all defense drones." The tactical map lit up as dozens of human drones spread out around the asteroid field, forming a thin shield around the forge. Aiden gripped the console, watching the alien ship close the distance. The Council vessel stopped just outside the asteroid shield. A moment of stillness passed, cold and quiet. Then a beam of violet energy burst from its center. The beam tore through the asteroid field like a blade of light. Rocks exploded. Metal fragments scattered in every direction. One of the smaller Titan support stations vanished instantly in a bright flash. Workers screamed over the comms. Mara shouted, "We're hit! Station Delta is gone!" Dozens of workers. Her voice cut off as the chamber shook. The Council scout fired again, sharper this time. The beam hit the half-built Titan frame, slicing clean through one of the outer plates. The massive piece drifted away like a falling tower. Aiden could barely breathe. The Council wasn't testing them. The Council wasn't warning them. The Council was destroying them. Rowan slammed his fist on the table. "Enough! Return fire!" Missiles launched from hidden platforms. Defense drones fired plasma rounds. A swarm of energy streaked toward the Council ship. But when the first missile reached the alien vessel, it simply dissolved. The ship absorbed the attack like it was nothing more than dust. Aiden whispered, "We're not ready for this." But humanity wasn't completely helpless. Deep inside the forge, an experimental gravity cannon, the first weapon meant for a Titan, was partially operational. It wasn't ready. It wasn't tested. But it was the only thing with enough power to hurt the Council scout. Mara shouted, "We're charging the cannon." "Aiden, tell Rowan to hold the line for 30 seconds. Aiden relayed the message. Rowan nodded. "All units, stall that ship." The drones moved like a cloud of metal insects, swarming the Council vessel. They couldn't break its shields, but they could distract it, forcing the alien ship to rotate and defend itself. Seconds felt like hours. Finally, Mara's voice roared through the speakers. "Gravity cannon, firing!" A pulse of blue light burst out of the forge. Space bent around the beam as if reality itself twisted. The blast slammed into the Council scout. This time, the alien shields cracked. A purple flash exploded across the ship's surface. Panels broke apart. Energy spilled out like burning liquid. The scout ship staggered backward. For the first time, humanity had wounded something from the Council. The alien vessel retreated, engines glowing. It slipped back into the darkness of space and vanished. Aiden let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. The forge survived, but barely. And now the entire galaxy knew exactly where humanity was. and exactly what they were building. That night, Aiden reviewed the strange clicks and signals again. One of the patterns repeated so quietly he almost missed it. When he amplified it, the weak whisper returned. But this time, the voice said something new. "They saw you, but they are not the only ones coming." Aiden froze. The council was dangerous. But whatever else was out there was already awake. The galaxy had forgotten humanity long ago, but humanity never forgot the galaxy. And now, at the edge of Orion Sector, the truth was about to arrive in the form of metal, fire, and a voice that refused to stay silent. The Titan-class warship Sovereign Dawn stood in dark space like a floating continent. Its smooth black armor reflected almost nothing. Every surface was built for war, every engine built for surprise. Humans had forged it in secret, while the rest of the galaxy believed Earth was a weak and quiet world. But tonight, quiet was over. Admiral Reyes stood on the command bridge. His hands were steady, but his heartbeat carried a storm. Before him floated the holographic map of the Draken fleet. Massive reptilian war cruisers, shaped like armored spears. They were moving toward Earth's hidden colony in Sector 9. If the Draken found the colony, everything would fall apart. The secret of humanity's rise, the Titan program, the shipyards, all of it would be exposed. "We will hit them first," Reyes said. The crew nodded. No one questioned him. They had trained for this moment in the shadows, preparing for a war no one believed humans could win. Inside the engineering bay, Chief Aria Holt made final checks on the energy cores. She wiped grease from her hands and stared at the trembling lights on the control panels. "This ship is alive," she whispered. "And tonight it takes its first breath." Max, her young assistant, swallowed hard. "You think we can really stop the Draken fleet?" Aria smirked. "Not stop. Surprise." She tapped the main core with her knuckles. This ship was made for surprises. At the same time, in the weapons wing, Commander Jace Hunter walked between rows of giant rail cannons. Soldiers stood ready, each one wearing dark armor patched with the emblem of the Titan program, a silver hammer inside a ring. "Remember," Jace said, his voice sharp, "the galaxy thinks humans are slow, weak, and scared." The soldiers waited. "So when you fire these guns, make sure the galaxy learns the truth." A wave of confidence passed through the room. Moments later, alarms flashed red across the bridge. "Admiral," the navigator called, "Draken ships entering attack formation." Reyes stepped forward. "Begin stealth run. No lights. No broadcasts. No signals." The Sovereign Dawn slid through the dark like a ghost. Not even its engines made sound. It was as if the ship cut through space without touching it. The Draken had no idea. "They think we are prey," Reyes said softly. "Good." The ship drifted close. Too close. Draken scanners swept the void, but passed straight over the hidden Titan-class vessel. "Range locked," the weapons officer said. "Targets, 43 Draken warships." The entire bridge filled with pressure, like the moment before a thunderstorm breaks. Reyes raised his hand. "Prepare Phase 1. A deep vibration rolled through the ship. Invisible energy gathered along the hull, like lightning waiting to strike. "Admiral," Aria said through the comm line, her voice steady, "energy shield is ready to burst." Jace followed. Rail cannons loaded. Full magnetic charge. Reyes nodded. "Start the attack." For 1 silent second, space held its breath. Then, a white flash exploded from the Sovereign Dawn's hull. The shockwave hit 3 Draken cruisers instantly. Their armor cracked like dry bone. Their engines sputtered. Their formation collapsed. Draken commanders shouted in confusion. "Unknown attack. Where is the enemy?" "Sector 4 is collapsing." More flashes burst across the dark, each one precise, each one silent until impact. The Titan-class ship didn't roar like normal warships. It struck like lightning, sudden, bright, and deadly. Reyes watched the battlefield. "Draken fleet is breaking lines," the officer shouted. "Good," Reyes replied. "Push forward." The Sovereign Dawn dropped its stealth cloak. The entire ship ignited with blue-white glow, revealing its impossible size. The Draken fleet froze. A human warship, bigger than anything they had records of, hovered before them. A voice cracked over the Draken comm channels. "We are humanity, and you should not have ignored us." The Draken flagship responded with rage. Its front cannons glowed red-hot, aiming straight at the Sovereign Dawn. "They are charging main weapon," someone shouted. Reyes didn't move. "Aria!" Her voice came instantly. "Shield ready." The Draken fired. A massive red beam tore toward the human ship. But when it hit the Titan-class shield, the beam bent, scattering like water hitting stone. Gasps filled the bridge. Even the Draken hesitated. Reyes smiled. "Now we answer." Jace unleashed the rail cannons. A storm of metal projectiles shot out, each one moving faster than sound, faster than thought. They punched through the Draken flagship's armor like paper. The massive ship shuddered, groaned, then burst into fire. The rest of the fleet panicked. "They're running," the navigator said. "Draken are pulling out of the sector." Reyes stared at the retreating enemy. "No," he said quietly. "They're not running." Everyone looked at him. "They're going to warn the galaxy." A heavy silence fell. This attack, the first blow, had revealed humanity's secret. The galaxy would no longer ignore them. The galaxy would fear them. And the real war had only begun. The destruction of the Draken flagship spread through the galaxy faster than any ship could travel. News networks, military channels, black market radios, and even pirate beacons repeated the same message again and again. Unknown human warship destroys Draken fleet unit. Humanity still exists? A new power has appeared. Planets that had forgotten Earth suddenly felt uneasy. Empires that once laughed at the weak groundwalkers now paused, uncertain. And hidden inside every government hall, every council room, and every throne chamber, one question echoed. How did humans build such a ship? On the shining world of Zoreth Prime, 12 tall, crystalline beings sat in a floating circle. Their bodies glowed with inner light, and their voices hummed like distant stars. Counselor Vera spoke first. Humanity was classified as Level 0, non-threatening, non-expansive. Counselor Zeeth replied, light flickering nervously. Level 0 does not destroy a Draken flagship. Silence rippled through the chamber. Another counselor floated forward. We ignored humans for centuries. We believed they lacked unity, lacked power. A low hum filled the air. Now they appear with a Titan-class warship. This cannot be ignored. Vera lowered its crystalline head. We must observe them. Carefully. Quietly. But Zeeth disagreed. No. Observation is not enough. If humans built one such ship, they may have built others. The chamber dimmed. For the first time in centuries, the Zorathians felt fear. Far across the stars, the Draken Emperor slammed his armored fist onto his throne. The hall trembled. Sparks fell from torch lamps. Humans, he growled, scales tightening. Weak, silent, forgotten. How dare they challenge us? A general bowed low. We lost an entire wing, Emperor. The enemy ship was beyond our predictions. The Emperor snarled. Then update the predictions. The general tried to speak. Reports say humans have been hiding for centuries. Building something in the shadows. Hiding, the Emperor hissed. No. Planning. He rose from his throne, towering like a moving fortress. Find their hidden worlds. Burn them. Crush their shipyards. Tear the truth from their bones. The generals bowed and hurried away. But the Emperor stayed still. Behind his anger, there was something darker. Worried a massive floating station built inside the shell of a dead star, thousands of alien traders gathered. Screens played the footage again, the moment the Sovereign Dawn emerged from stealth, glowing like a storm. A merchant with 6 arms whispered, if humans can build that, imagine their weapons. A bird-like trader replied, imagine their prices. Someone else shivered. Or imagine their enemies. If humans rise, war will come. Trade will collapse. Voices rose around the hall. Should we help them? No, avoid them. Sell to them. Hide from them. The galaxy's economy trembled. Admiral Reyes watched the enemy retreat vanish from the radar. His crew was silent, exhausted, yet focused. The glow of the battlefield still burned in their eyes. He turned to the communication officer. "Any incoming transmissions from Earth?" "Not from Earth, sir," she said slowly. "But from everywhere else." Everywhere. She sent the list to his console. Over 20 major factions had broadcast messages. Warnings, questions, threats, requests. Humanity, once ignored, was suddenly the most talked about species in the galaxy. Reyes exhaled. The galaxy is awake now. Commander Jace walked up beside him. "We hit them hard. But we also revealed ourselves." Reyes nodded. "I know." Arya arrived from engineering, wiping sweat from her face. "The engines need 3 hours to cool. And the shield core is almost burned out from the Draken blast." "Repairs first," Reyes said. "War later." But even he knew the truth. The real war would come much sooner than the repairs. Across the galaxy, reactions spread. One. The Solari matriarchy. An elegant queen with silver skin watched the battle replay. "Humans," she whispered. "They grow in silence, then strike with thunder." She smiled softly. "I like them." Her advisors looked worried. 2. The Vornik hive mind. Millions of linked minds repeated the same thought. Humans have changed. Humans are dangerous. Adapt or fall. For the hive mind, danger meant interest. 3. The exile pirates. A pirate captain raised a cup of glowing liquid. "To the humans," he shouted. "The only ones crazy enough to poke the Draken." Laughter echoed. But deep in the shadows, rival pirates whispered, "If humans have ships like that, they could wipe us all out." A message from Earth. Back on the Sovereign Dawn, a new signal arrived. "Admiral," the officer said, "coded transmission from Central Command." Reyes straightened. A hologram of Earth's defense director appeared. Tired eyes, sharp voice. "Admiral Reyes, your attack on the Draken fleet has shaken the entire galaxy." Reyes already knew. The director continued, "All major powers are watching us now. Some want talks. Others want information. And some want war." Reyes didn't blink. "What are our orders?" The director's voice grew firm. "Return to Earth. The galaxy is preparing to move. We must prepare as well." Then the hologram flickered out. Jace leaned forward. "So that's it, we go home?" Reyes looked through the window at the stars, now brighter, now alive with danger. "No," he said. "We don't go home." Everyone stared. Reyes finished quietly. "We prepare for the galaxy to come to us." The crew exchanged silent looks. They all understood. The first blow had been struck. Now the galaxy would strike back.